Sudhanshu, first of all, I'd like to congratulate for your organization, Young India Foundation. It's such a brilliant idea and it is something youth is looking for. And so here we go. I'll ask you a few questions and if you like to answer, you can answer.
Of course, thanks for having me.
So what triggers you to work for your nation, or when does it happen? You feel like, okay, this is something I want to do.
So I think it's a mix of these personal anecdotes that I've gone through, but also just a natural inclination to work, right? I was legitimately brought up in a place where I was the other. I was, the diversity, where everyone else around me was white, and always feeling left out, and always having this sort of identity crisis that was within me. And finally, my outlet, the people that I got to call home, the people that I felt most comfortable with, were people in India, right? And my vacations would turn into short stays, would turn into longer stays where I would try to get out of the school as much as possible and be in India and stay there. So it's there are personal anecdotes and experiences that I can say, but then it's overall just a natural inclination of where you feel most comfortable and where you feel like you're one of your own.
That's really great. So, isn't the youth-centric, the organization, or it targets other new parts also?
It is 100% youth-centric, but on the understanding that if we want to succeed, we also have to walk hand in hand with older people as well.
Yeah.
So we are for youth rights. We are based out of, on the inclination that we are going to be advocating for youth rights. But we also understand that those youth rights will be provided right now by the adults, by the elder generation. So you have to walk hand in hand. Hartal karke koi fayda nahi.
So what are the segments you have targeted?
What do you mean, what segments?
What are the areas you are doing your work in, and what are you basically doing? Like your main objectives?
Okay, so I have worked in a variety of sectors. I worked in education, I worked in grassroots level activism, and I realized by doing those things that policy and changing the system and necessarily the policy is the most successful way, the most efficient way for ensuring sustainable change. For example, I worked with this education nonprofit where we would send kids, right? One by one cases pick up, but we wouldn't have, the highest illiteracy problem if our policy was, better adapted to the people and our demographic. So instead of just working on a very activism, very local person to person, which is just as important, I'm not saying it isn't.
Yeah.
My experience has taught me that I think it's better suited to work in policy. So we work on really trying to change youth rights and policy, right? And we deal, obviously there are several sectors that you can deal with, whether it's women's rights, education, etc. But broadly, trying to have that set of fresh minds, a set of new people to come in and to give their perspective on policy that has been governed for the past 70 years by a certain demographic, those changes will apply through the board. So a very broader youth rights orientation towards education, women's rights, sustainability, economic development, etc., whatever you do.
That's great. So if you get chance to give a message to youth inclined towards public policies and policy making, what would be that? And how important it is for the youth to come and be a part of good governance?
Okay, so if we want a sustainable country, but I don't mean country by the land beneath our feet. If we want a sustainable community where you and I are equally progressing, where we're cohesively working together, it's absolutely essential that the resources and the demands that young people have are met. And the private sector can't meet those demands and can't prescribe policies to hopefully compensate. Due to technology, due to modern day, we've seen the world in the palm of our hands. But as soon as we look outside the palm of our hands and look around, it's not there.
Yeah.
And we have to work on that. And the message that I would really like to give to young people around is, first of all, don't be complacent. And second of all, is to get out there. That's it. Barack Obama said when people were booing Donald Trump, don't boo, vote. Because that's the only thing that can change. That's the only thing that stood in the ground of not, having these very certain ideologies in power. At the same time, you have to get out there and take part in the system.
That's great. That's all. It's
Okay.
wonderful to have your time, and thank you so much.
Thank you so
All of
much.
us for your picture.
No, thank you.